Alright, how we doing, ladies and gentlemen? The Elite Spec Beta has just started. The stream is going to be live pretty much for the entire week, aside from when I have to sleep, because unfortunately I am a human. It does suck to be one, but we're all out here. So, I have started with Galeshot, so I'm going to do this in a sort of specific order. We're going to go Galeshot, Amalgam, then Specialized Elements for a Elementalist, and then Ritualist, Mesmer, Antiquary, Luminary, Conduit, Paragon. That's a structure that should hopefully keep it interesting going all the way through. And we'll see. If I come up with something really stupid, maybe I'll bounce back and whatnot. But I'm just going to absolutely go fucking crazy with content. So if some of it works, great. If not, enjoy it anyway. I don't know. I just work here. So with that being said, this is going to be my first impressions of Galeshot. Now this is meant to change, of course, because I'm going to be exploring it more and more and more. But I want to see I want to have the ability to compare my current thoughts to my eventual thoughts, either near the end of the beta. Maybe I can do some like summary thing or something. But so I've screwed around with this thing for a couple hours now, or an hour or two now. Hawkeye hit so hard I crashed the server a couple times. Joking, of course, but you know, a couple of server issues, beta issues, what have you. A lot of people playing, which is really nice. Always good, always good. But yeah, so early thoughts on Galeshot. There is potential, but there is a couple of things that need work, and it feels like the more I think I get it, the less DPS I actually do. So far, anyways. I have a couple ideas I still want to cook with, but yeah, my early impressions are there's potential for sure, but it's really going to come down to how they decide to tweak it. A couple of abilities just don't really follow their function, I want to say. So for example, let's go through some of the Galeshot kit itself here while we do this, shall we? So I'll cover the bow in its own little individual thing, but the squalls themselves, there's two things that are kind of annoying. First of all, this whirlwind here, really cool ability, really love it. This will be fantastic in the open world to just use to blast off the top of something and then glide. But in PvP, this needs to be a stun break. This really needs to be a stun break, because if you're getting stunned, you really want to be able to just immediately break and dodge out. Because why would you play this when you can literally just play lightning reflexes? Which is the exact same thing. It goes farther distance, I'm pretty sure. Stun breaks and evades and Condi removes all at the same time. It's just a better button across the board. Yes, you get two charges here, for sure. But what they intend you to do, I think, is combine two buttons at the same time, which is Wind Shear right here. So this is wind swells around you, knocking back nearby enemies, and reflects incoming projectiles. So many things I feel like are just on the wrong button. If they switch a couple of these, like, attributes around, I think we're really cooking here. But everything seems to be kind of backwards right now. So this reflects projectiles, and this stun breaks, okay? This doesn't stun break. Yeah, I know. So, it gets even better. So this reflects projectiles. But I hit the wrong button, shit. But the projectile wall, the projectile wall doesn't reflect projectiles. So, there's something I haven't tested yet. But projectile wall, right, you can fire through, but you can fire through both sides. It doesn't reflect projectiles. So I don't know how this works in PvP, because if you put a projectile wall down, and the enemy fires through and chills you, we're having a real bad time. So, I don't know if it works like that. I haven't tested it. If anyone knows, feel free to let me know in the comments. But, yeah, if that's the case, that's absolutely hilarious. But there's something even funnier with this. Well, there's two things. One is that it has an animation, which is a giga yikes. Because this has a 6-second duration, which is not long enough at all. Because Rapid Fire has 2.5 seconds of cast time. If you put quickness over top of this, I mean, even better, for sure. But with the amount of projectiles you want to try and pump through this wall for the sort of underwhelming damage it adds to the arrows, you do not get long enough to be able to actually get the like damage result out of it, because it has a cast time. So if you fuck up your rotation one time, you're not going to have a good time. Like, for example, the way you should be able to do this is this shouldn't have a cast time. It should reflect projectiles, so take the projectile reflect off the other ability. Have this knockback and stun break, sure. And then put the stun break on whirlwind. So then you can stun break and leap away. And then you have an AoE knockback that can also stun break. Then you put the reflect missiles on the reflect wall, or on the projectile wall. So then you have a twofold thing, which gives you the archer fantasy of I slam my arrows in the ground, and my arrows will do more damage, and your arrows can't come through. That's actual archer fantasy, because old archers used to literally pull their quiver out and stick it in the floor so they could pull them quicker. But, you know, we're out here. I have multiple bows on my wall. But yeah, so, it gets even worse, unfortunately. Because going into the Galeshot bow, which is kind of cool, aside from the fact it clips with trench coats, because small indie company, we out here. They did some stuff really nice with this bow, and one thing that's kind of really funny. So, you're gonna waste a lot of arrows, unfortunately, because the cooldowns don't really line up. Bluster is literally the true shot animation, which does pretty significant damage, which is really nice. But what winds up happening is, if you don't go through in the right rotation, you have to force lock yourself, and that animation really takes longer than I thought it was going to. I think if they speed up the it's called supersonic arrow, for fuck's sake, and it feels like it's slow as horse piss trying to throw this thing at somebody. Like, it is such a tell to dodge roll in PvP, it is crazy work. Coupled with the fact that, like, it's the only animation that makes the Galeshot bow go sideways. So, you have two tells in front of you. They're in bow, and they're turning it sideways. You can't block it, but that doesn't say it's not projectile reflectable. You can get mag reflected, potentially, or you can just dodge roll it. Because, like, look at this. How obvious is that, bro? Like, how obvious is that? Supersonic, by the way. Yeah, okay. It gets worse. So, it's supposed to be a gas up video. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of fucking Gordon Ramsaying right now. But, anyway. So, you'll see the new problem. 1, 2, 3, 4. You need 5 to get Hawkeye, right? You see a slight conundrum here. Little minor issue. And then, when you go out of it, you get quick draw. This is actually a really nice thing. You get quick draw when you go in and out of the Gale Force bow. Although the Elite Spec starts you with Vicious Quarry as the slotted node for whatever reason, because I guess I just don't want you to find this. It starts you with Predator's Onslaught and Vicious Quarry when you should be running Lead the Wind quick draw. So, yeah, I guess, sure. And then unfortunately, Strike and Cloudburst are on the same tier. So if you want to play a Q DPS to get invited to groups in high-tier fractals, you can't bring the thing that, like, aids using a longbow, which is just so counterintuitive, it's fucking hilarious. If they put Shrike on this tier and replaced, like, one of these, like, if they replaced Shrike with Wuthering Wind, then you could make, like, a pet spec, because I want to try, like, a flock together spec. Like, if you run Sikkim with bird increase and bird crit damage, like, the thing could almost out DPS the spec itself. Like, look at him. Look at him. Boop. But, yeah, so, okay, I'll show you the fun part. This is really funny, okay? So we go into quick draw, or we go into the bow. You get quick draw on the bow. Why did that go on cooldown again? What the fuck? Okay, that's whack. So, next fun thing. If we're in combat, right? I'll give it a second for quick draw to wear off. This was happening when I had Great Sword out. I don't know what happens when I have Longbow out. It doesn't happen when I have Longbow out? Weird. Was that it was consuming my quick draw on auto attack. So give it a second again. Oh yeah, it won't replicate it now that I'm on stream, of course, or now that I'm on recording. But for whatever reason, my quick draw was being consumed by the bow auto attack, which was not the vibe. So I don't know if that was just a minor bug that fixed itself, because of course I turned my recording on and it got screen shy. But that has happened, so that was not really the vibe. So otherwise, yeah, the quick draw is genuinely nice. Fan of that. But, okay, real fun part. This is two problems at the exact same time. So I told you before that Mistral needs no cast time. But then what if you go through the fucking bullshit hassle of putting the thing down in the first place to try and line up a Hawkeye in it? So, let's go through the process. Build ourselves our stacks. And now watch. We put the thing down, and Hawkeye goes over it. You can't make this shit up, dog. Oh my god. And oh, the arrows went through. I hear you saying, no, those were Shrike arrows. Oh my fuck, you can't make this shit up. So, good news is that Shrike will actually keep a perpetual running tracker while in combat, no matter what. Whether you switch targets. So right now, we're at like, what, 7 arrows? So if I hit my active here, I can literally stop moving. Let's chill for a second. And I'll prove that there's no ICD on the Shrike counter, which is really cool. So, you know, we're chilling, we're vibing, what have you. And then Piercing Gales is a projectile set, which will trigger Shrike. So that's cool. Big fan of that. But yeah, this is what I mean. So then, first things first, if you jump too high, you go over the Mistral. And then, so even if you go through the hassle of doing it right, it doesn't even go through the fucking projectile wall, which is hilariously funny. But then, if you fuck up the combo, you cancel your own rapid fire to put down the projectile wall you're supposed to rapid fire through. Forehead. And I mean, it's, yeah, you know. And then on top of that, like, it says missiles, so, you know, barrage doesn't work, pelt doesn't work, what have you. I tried all that shit. Does not function whatsoever. And the tornado is really cool. But I think for a spec where you want to fire a lot of arrows over and over and over, you're going to want Strength of the Pack, because this gives you might to you and your pet every time you hit something, and you are going to be hitting a bunch with rapid fire plus Hawkeye and all that shit, right? But if we look at damage numbers just on the bow, for example, Bluster does really good damage. That kind of hits like a noodle. So it's about 6k there, 5k there, and then Supersonic, 7k. Hawkeye hits for 16 with a couple extra arrows in there. I've had Hawkeye crit 25. So all the damage is in Hawkeye. So it makes it bench really dog shit. Now, I could be garbage. Don't get me wrong. I could be absolutely trash. But the highest I've been able to hit was, I think, 7k with this setup. And it's like, functionally, it feels like everything should work. Right? Like, I'm shooting the arrows through the arrow wall. I'm doing the fucking piercing gales at the right time through the projectile wall with Strength of the Pack up. And I don't know, dog. Maybe I'm just trash. Entirely possible. But, yeah, so let's do a couple of different things to show off some of the rotation, and then we'll probably call it for the video. Do let me know your thoughts. Like I said, feel free to call me garbage. It's whatever. That's life. But yeah, this is day 1 Galeshot. So, let's put down the wall. I did this in the wrong order already, because I'm just that good. Throw the other projectiles, flip into the bow. Then we have quick draw. And we're going to get our bonus damage, land this, waste an arrow or two, pop out, and then somehow not get quick draw because we're just actually crazy good. Weapon swap. Put the projectile wall back down. Projectile wall, projectiles, projectiles, projectiles. Final arrow. Pew. And I don't even think I get a fucking DPS number for that. Yeah, it literally didn't even give me a DPS number. That's fun. But yeah, I mean, that's like what the perfect rotation should be. And instead of using Whirlwind, you would use Signal of the Wild here. So, I mean, it's fun. It has potential for sure. I definitely think that there's some of the utilities on the wrong slots for sure. Like I said, if Mistral can be fired through by the other team, we are getting turbo Keck W'd. Because we literally troll our own Zergs by putting this in front of them. But yeah, the wall should projectile reflect. Whirlwind should stun break. Mistral shouldn't have a cast time, so you could put it down in the middle of rapid fire. Quick draw on flipping over into the bow is really, really nice. Make sure it never gets consumed on auto attack. That is absolute cancer whenever that happens. Heal skill is kind of whatever. And yeah, I don't know. It's kind of the worries I had are coming true. Is that longbow Galeshot feels like it's gonna bench the fucking lowest out of everything. So we will see. I'm gonna experiment probably with a two-handed build, a like full melee brawler build, and then a pet build most likely. And I will post those on the channel a little later. So yeah, thank you guys for listening, and let me know your thoughts on Galeshot. Take care.